GCMMA boys coming to you this week with our, what is this, 321? 319, UFC 319, Du Plessis versus Chimaev breakdown, boys. 2 weeks in a row. Hey, this YouTube stuff is all about momentum. We're trying to build some momentum back 2 weeks in a row. I know it's nothing out of the ordinary, but hey, boys, we're here for this one. So we're excited for this. This is obviously one of the biggest fights that they could possibly make. And they actually did a pretty good card for this, so we're pretty excited to actually dive into it.
Yeah, boys, and fortunately for us, this will be a card that we'll both be able to watch live.
Stay tuned.
And together, we plan on drinking a beer for every fight on the card, no matter if it's a first round stoppage or what. We're drinking a beer for every fight on this card.
And I think last time I checked, there's 13
Yeah, there was supposed to be 15, but 2 fights got canceled, boys.
We don't make the rules.
They're trying to put a limit on the amount we drink, but it's not going to work, boys. So, first fight on the card, we got Ali B. Idris versus Joseph Morales. I'm going Ali B. Idris here, boys. Undefeated.
What's his name? Alibi. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I'm not taking this fucking guy.
That
for
guy,
sure.
That guy barely won on the Ultimate Fighter against the Mexican dude.
Yeah, and that guy wasn't that good of a fighter at all. So, give me Idris here, boys. I'm just not on Joseph Morales. That's basically my reasoning for this, boys. I think Idris gets this done. He's probably, I don't know, the odds haven't came out yet. They just added this fight to the card, so. But I can imagine him being like minus 400 at least.
If not higher, yeah.
That, but it is what it is, boys.
I'll honestly be willing to lay this as a bet. I think that this guy's just a lot better. I mean, this guy's going to be juiced. Even if he's like minus 600 or 700, I'm probably going to be down to lay this guy just because like he is damn near as close as a lock as you're going to get. I've thought throughout the entire Ultimate Fighter that this guy looked like he was actual UFC caliber, doesn't quit on himself, pushes through being tired, good technique. And this Joseph guy, I mean, he got a good first round submission, but in his last fight against a dude who's never even been in the UFC, he's had his shot and he lost it. I don't think he gets back in the UFC against a guy like Elibi or Ilibi, however you say his name. Yeah, I don't think he gets in against that guy. Alibi, yeah. Yeah,
moving on, boys. We've got Nursultan Ruziboyev versus Brian Battle. I'm going Brian Battle here. Ruziboyev isn't the shittiest fighter in the world, but Brian Battle has fought the better opponents, has had better performances against better opponents. He knocked out Kevin Doucet, went to split decision with Randy Brown, Randy Brown is a good fighter. I'll give him his respect. He knocked out Gabe Green 2 years ago, but that doesn't mean really shit.
He knocked out Tomoyuki Sugano, the fucking starting pitcher for the Orioles.
Okay, bro. Dude, if that happened and we're laying that guy, but Ruziboyev, like, he's a decent fighter, but I feel like he got exposed in that fight against Buckley.
I agree, yeah.
That fight pretty much showed like what his weaknesses are, and I think Brian Battle will be able to exploit those weaknesses with the pressure, the clinching against the cage, mixing it up on Ruziboyev. I think he'll be able to get this done.
Boys, I'm going to have to fade here, and I'm going to go Ruziboyev. I do think that he showed his weakness, but I do think that he's got a little bit more to his game these days. Brian Battle's good. He's entertaining. He's good for the sport. Don't get me wrong, but I was very, very, very disappointed with his game plan to go against somebody like Randy Brown. Like, he was. I thought Randy Brown won that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a close ass fight.
Brian Battle, like I said, I fuck with the guy. I think it's dope. Like, his personality. You thought we were gonna lose to a French dude. First of all, getting the ref to step in while Kevin Doucet's on the feet, being your last knockout, there's nothing that's really super spectacular about that. It's impressive, it's good.
That guy was going out regardless.
Jonathan Metcalf beat fucking Kevin Doucet at this point, and I just feel like Randy Brown being held up against the cage, I don't know if you're going to be able to have the same clinch success against a guy like Ruziboyev. I like Brian Battle. I want him to win because I think that he's a more marketable personality. But if I had to just go strictly on who I think wins, I'm going to have to go Ruziboyev here.
I don't know why this fight's at 185, but I'm probably not betting this because of that reason.
Straight up.
That it's at 185. I don't know why Brian Battle's fighting at 185, but I'm just going to keep my pick here. But I wouldn't be surprised if he loses in a different weight class. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but next up, we've got Edson Barboza versus Jakar Close. All right.
Give me Jakar Close here, boys. I mean, we backed Barboza against Sadiq Youssef. We backed Barboza against Lerone Murphy. He's an old guy. I think Jakar Close has the power to take somebody like Edson Barboza out of there. Barboza's been knocked out before. Jakar Close is not even on a UFC ranking scale. I'd probably give Jakar Close like a 65 out of 100 or probably a 70. I really don't think that he's necessarily like super fucking fantastic, but I do think he has enough power and he's a better striker than Barboza at this point in their career. So I think that Jakar Close can tag Barboza enough to win a decision here, and I'm just gonna have to go with him.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jakar Close as well. I think Edson Barboza is pretty much phoning it in at this point in his career. He was fighting at featherweight, making the weight cuts to fight at that weight class, and now he just doesn't give a fuck. Apparently, he's fighting at lightweight. I think Jakar Close is going to be able to beat him with the pressure. I just don't believe in Edson Barboza at 39, where you know you're not going to be a champ, you know you're not going to achieve anything.
Sam Elliott, I'm not going to be
another type of guy.
Okay, yeah.
We'll save that for his ass, but like Edson Barboza at this point is just fighting to collect a check. I think Jakar Close can get this done here. Moving on, we've got Anthony Hernandez versus Chase Hooper, or Alexander Hernandez versus Chase Hooper.
Chase Hooper is one of the locks of the card, in my opinion, boys. Alexander Hernandez, like, he's just not fantastic. I mean, you look at his last 3 fights. Split decision over Kurt Hollowbaugh. Split decision over Austin Hubbard. Lost to Damon Jackson. This guy is talented, but he's not that great when he gets in the cage. Chase Hooper, Jim Miller, Clay Guida, Slava Claus, Jordan Levitt. Like, those are 4 names that you've at least heard of and are somewhat respectable wins. I mean, sure, Clay Guida's nothing to write home about and Slava Claus isn't, but I mean, submitting Jordan Levitt is pretty good. Paddy Pimblett got hype off of that, so how are we going to discredit Chase Hooper? And I mean, Jim Miller is a very good fighter, even though he's old, and I think that Chase Hooper has a significant advantage in this fight in the grappling department, and I just think that he's going to take Alexander Hernandez for all he's got. Because the thing about Alexander Hernandez, he's good technically. He does not have the best gas. We've seen him. He cannot push a pace for the entire fight. We saw that against Hollowbaugh. He needed to take that guy down to keep going. Chase Hooper doesn't have the greatest striking, but I do think he has decent pressure, especially if he's making the fight go his way. So I'm just going to have to go Hooper here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Chase Hooper here too, because I know he'll be able to get a hold of Alexander Hernandez and hold him down and get that.
Hernandez isn't knocking anybody out.
Yeah, I don't think Hernandez has any chance to finish him in this fight, but I think Chase Hooper will definitely be able to get him down, take his back, probably in some moments in this fight, control him. Like you said, like Alexander Hernandez, he has a decent technique, but his gas tank and just his fight IQ and the way he approaches the fights, like the fights he wins are always close fights, and I just can't really trust a guy like that. Chase Hooper has a lot of momentum, he has a lot of hype behind him, and I'm gonna just pick the safer side here instead of Alexander Hernandez.
Chase Hooper, yeah, let's go.
He's been rogue.
He's a lock, boys. That's what I'm telling you. This is a lock of the card. Chase Hooper, let's fucking get it.
Moving on, boys, we got Gerald Mearshart versus Mikhail Olejniczuk.
You guys know shit about this channel. You know Mikhail Olejniczuk. I've never faded him. And this is not going to be a time to do that. GM3 is good. He looked good against RDR. He looked good against Shabazian. He submitted Barberena. He's good. I don't want to say he sucks at all, but I think that Olejniczuk, like, I have a hard time fading this guy because I've seen him knock people out early. Besides Kevin Holland, I haven't seen him really get into too much submission or grappling trouble. I've got to trust Olejniczuk here. I think that he can probably put GM3's lights out.
Yeah, I think, I don't know how true this is, but I feel like this is pretty true. I predicted every Mikhail Olejniczuk fight correctly on this channel, and I'm taking him to win this fight. Gerald Mearshart, in the beginning when this fight was announced, I was leaning Gerald Mearshart. I'm not gonna lie, like he's a decent fighter. He's a live dog in whatever fight he's in. Any fight, he's a live dog. But
I took him against RDR for
we took him against RDR, and he put up a decent fight until the end.
He was favored going into the third round.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Gerald Mearshart in his last fight, he lost to Brad Tavares, and that.
Wait, hold on a second, bro. That happened
4 months ago.
Okay, I don't even remember that.
Olejniczuk
max bet.
He's training with the Fighting Nerds. He's a
So
hard
is
guy
that-
to finish. Kanan Crucial guy. That guy sucked cock. He fucking sucked. I'm not saying.
We're not saying just because you train with the Fighting Nerds,
I'm not definitely not saying that.
We're just saying it's an added,
That's an added bonus for this guy beating up a 37-year-old Mearshart coming off a decision loss to Brad Tavares.
Yeah, and I mean his fucking last name sounds like a combination of something you do in your pants in the middle of the day. Oh, I just took a Mearshart. Not cutting off, boys. Next fight.
We got Bai Sungur Suzakaev.
I don't care who he's
versus
fighting,
Eric
boys.
Nolan.
Max
Eric
bet-
Nighttime Nolan.
Oh god, yeah. What's this guy got a fucking nightlight? I'm taking Suzakaev. Oh, okay, bro. This guy looks like he
Suzakaev
plays
max
for-
bet, boys.
This guy played for the Twins on the weekend.
Yeah.
I've got Suzakaev, boys.
Fucking relief pitcher, eh?
Yeah. Fucking sold the game this weekend. Now he's taking on the UFC this weekend, eh? Yeah, I've got Suzakaev, boys. He just is coming off the Contender Series off a first-round body shot knockout. This guy's impressive. He's kind of like an Azamat Bakoev in a scenario where I'm going to take him till he proves me wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't care what the odds are. I would lay everything I have on this guy because I don't see him fucking losing in the
Dana
UFC.
White is not bringing this guy off the Contender Series 4 days out from the Contender Series to lose. This guy's a max bet on the card. Or he's either a max bet or he's the biggest fraud in the UFC.
I'm willing to find out.
Yeah, I'm willing to find out on Saturday. Moving
Max
on to
Holloway
the first
has-
card.
We find out.
It's Saturday night. We find out. Saturday night. Fucking idiot. Moving on to the main card. Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura.
Now, boys, there might be a
No.
fundamental issue with picking a guy who hasn't won a fight in the UFC before. But I watched the Tim Elliott interview on the MMA Junkie. He's got long hair. He's wearing some stupid flat billed hat. And he's saying the title is "I'm not going to be champion and I'm a beach wrestling champion. Give me Kai Asakura."
That guy is an auto fade. Kai Asakura's only fight was against a champion. So how are we going to judge him against somebody like fucking Tim Elliott? He's 38.
I'll take the risk.
He's 38 at flyweight.
What's Tim Elliott's
That's like
nickname?
being 60 at heavyweight.
What's Tim Elliott's nickname? It's Funky something.
He got
right?
rid of it, dude. It's not listed on
Oh
this.
damn! Well, it was something stupid.
It was something stupid. He used to have a stupid nickname listed on Tapology, but He removed it.
Regardless, boys, Kai Asakura, we weren't falling for the hype of him coming in the UFC. I do think that he probably will be able to knock Tim Elliott out here. I mean,
this is a layup.
Yeah. The UFC wants Kai Asakura because they wanted the Asian market. They don't give a fuck about Tim Elliott.
Yeah, he's on the way out. He's got his bags packed already.
Surfboarder.
I'm a beach wrestler.
Yeah, next fight.
Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. I'm going MVP here. We have no reason to believe the MVP's weakness is getting taken down and controlled. I have no reason to believe that Jared Cannonier at 41 is going to start taking motherfuckers down and holding them down for an entire round. I think Michael Venom Page is fast enough and he has better, good enough technique to avoid any of Cannonier's power shots. I mean, this is middleweight. MVP fought at welterweight. He's used to fighting faster guys with better technique. And then people like Cannonier.
Maybe not as much power, but
not as much power. No, but I feel like
technical skill.
Yeah, MVP should he should be able to avoid Cannonier's stand up. Like, if you look at MVP's fights in the UFC, nobody has been able to stand and bang with him, just strictly striking with him and win the fight.
I mean, yeah, Sharon Magomedov was like the next big thing, and MVP fought him and he
exposed him. So he literally exposed him.
I'm gonna go with MVP here as well. I think if Cannonier happens to get this fight to the ground, he definitely has a ground and pound advantage here. But I trust MVP. He's 38 years old. He's been fighting a long time. He understands the movement, and if Jared Cannonier comes running in, he can like step to the side or do something, and I just trust his ability to maneuver in this fight. I mean, if you want to be safe, just take this fight to go the distance, but I'm going to go MVP here. Moving on to the next fight, boys, we've got Jeff Neal and Carlos Prates. This is a tough one because I do fuck with Hands of Steel, but I also don't want to just say that Prates is unbettable or unpickable after his fight against Ian Gary, because he didn't do what we expected him to, but I do still think that he's a world-class fighter at the end of the day. And I mean, Jeff Neal's the American, and I do want to back the American fighters, but I just don't think he's as dynamic of a striker as Prates. I think Prates has the kicks, he has the straight punches, and I just feel like Jeff Neal's not the type of guy to get inside of a flow state. I think if Prates lands a body kick, a teep kick, backs up, Jeff Neal, and he starts throwing a combination and he goes, woo! And then he starts like throwing shit. I don't see him getting caught by Jeff Neal. We haven't seen Prates in the UFC really get into too much danger. Jeff Neal does have really good power, and like I said, he's the American, so I want to back him here. But Carlos Prates, I think this is a big bounce back spot for him, and it's a favorable matchup because it's not a guy who's going to try and take him down. And I think if these guys strike, Prates has the accuracy advantage for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely on Prates in this fight. I know he lost his last fight to Ian Gary. He almost finished Ian Gary in that last round, but
Ian Gary was crawling around the cage like a baby looking for its fucking pacifier at the end of the fight.
Like, Carlos Prates, he can get this done against Jeff Neal. He, like you said, he's a more dynamic striker. He's got more power. Jeff Neal can put your lights out, but I think the speed advantage is going to be what is going to be the biggest factor in this fight for Prates. He's got the speed advantage, and he can avoid those big, heavy left hooks from Jeff Neal, and he can get it done here, boys. I really think he can do it. Not to talk shit against Jeff Neal. I really like Jeff Neal. I think he's swinging, but I don't think he'll be able to get this done against Carlos Prates of the Fighting Nerds.
Moving on into the co-main event, boys, we've got Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. I've been making a joke all week about Aaron Pico, boys, but am I getting a fucking burrito at Chipotle? Yeah, let me get the Pico. I'm going with Lerone Murphy here at plus money. This guy's undefeated at plus money against a fucking Bellator merchant. I don't know how many times we're going to have to see these guys come from the other promotions against top contenders and suck before we just start automatically fading them.
We've been doing that, though.
Everybody, oh, Patchy Mix sucks. I don't think Lerone Murphy's going to get himself knocked out, and I think if this goes 3 rounds, he's going to be able to outpoint Aaron Pico. I'm not sold on the hype, guys. I'm not. I don't think there's anything impressive about the fact you have highlight knockouts against the fucking B leagues. It's like a guy coming up to the MLB from AAA and everyone's saying, this guy's going to be the fucking Cy Young winner. No, he's not. Aaron Pico's got knocked out 3 times by guys in Bellator. I'm not saying Lerone Murphy's necessarily going to knock him out, but I mean, he has better striking than anybody in Bellator, so let's fucking see what happens, boys. But I'm betting Lerone Murphy in this spot at plus money. Fuck the Bellator guys, and fuck Aaron Pico.
Yeah. Lerone Murphy has beat way better opposition than Aaron Pico has even sniffed.
Josh Emmett, Dan Ige,
Josh Emmett is
Barboza.
Josh Emmett has more power than Aaron Pico, and he was Lerone Murphy easily dealt with him. So I'm taking the UFC guy who's undefeated at the top of the division over some fucking guy from Bellator. We've been fading these Bellator guys for the longest on this channel, and we've been right. So
sometimes you get an RDR who fucks things up.
Yeah.
But he didn't come from Bellator. Bellator sucks.
Bellator and PFL suck.
One championship is sort of straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not really on Ryzen.
Moving on.
I'll secure it.
Yeah, moving on to the main event, boys. Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis. You can take this one first, bro, and I'll just add on.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is the biggest lock of the card. Out of any other fight that's on this card, in my opinion. And this is the best value on this card.
Don't forget about when I took Dricus and you took Whitaker.
Okay, but I'm saying this is the biggest. I learned my lesson from that. I'm saying this is the biggest lock on the card. Dricus Du Plessis is going to beat Khamzat Chimaev, and that's that. Khamzat Chimaev is a good fighter. He gets the takedown in the beginning of the round, and he finishes his opponent, and that's what he's known for. But Dricus Du Plessis, however, has the wrestling and the grappling to avoid getting finished. The wrestling, the grappling, the physicality, and the size to avoid getting finished in the first round. And he has the gas tank to whip Khamzat Chimaev's ass in the entire fight. Khamzat Chimaev's gas tank is his biggest weakness, and it's always been. He's slowed down after any of the fights that he's made it out the first round. He's slowed down after that. And he's showed a lot of weakness, and Dricus Du Plessis is a perfect person to exploit that weakness. We said on this channel that Dricus is going to be the middleweight GOAT, and he can't be that.
We said that before the Adesanya fight.
Exactly.
That was 2 defenses ago.
Yeah, and he can't do that without beating Khamzat, so he's whooping his ass. And there's a lot of idiots I see on Instagram in the comments. Khamzat sub first round. Khamzat. It's not happening, boys. I laid this parlay $100 on Lerone Murphy and Dricus Du Plessis to pay out like $680. That shit's cashing, boys. And when this fight is happening, I am going to be hammered, and I am gonna throw a massive celebration and victory when Dricus Du Plessis gets his hand raised at the end of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, guys, like, we can look at skill all we want to in the UFC. The fact of the matter is everybody in the UFC has skill. Not everybody has heart. And when I'm watching interviews with Dricus Du Plessis smiling and saying, from the first to the last bell, we can go full speed and we see who quits first. This guy is coming in here prepared to put a pace on for 5 rounds. Look, a guy who's a bitch does not challenge someone to say who's going to quit first. He is prepared. Every single fight Dricus has been in, the later rounds look so sloppy. And he even said, my last 4 fights in the UFC, I've been tired after the third round, but I fight when I'm tired anyways. Like, you guys, you are built for that. You're not, like, you cannot just create that.
Train that.
Like, Dricus, he's a guy who in every single fight, yes, he might be losing some moments. Yes, he might not be having his success. He never gives up. The Adesanya fight, when we were watching that live, I thought he was probably down like 3-1. And in the 4th round, he came out and was still trying to go for the takedown, and he ended up getting the submission. Like, you can't count somebody out like that who puts that kind of effort and heart behind what they're doing, boys. And I think that Khamzat is very, very talented. If he wins this fight, of course, I'll be picking him against who he goes against. I don't want this to seem like we hate Khamzat, because we don't. We respect any of the great talent of the sport. It's just, I don't think that he is going to be able to fight a guy like DDP who's not going to quit like Whitaker, who's not going to quit like fucking Kevin Holland, Li Jingliang.
Yeah.
When he fought Gilbert Burns, who was not willing to go out, and he fought Muhammad Kamaru Usman, not Muhammad Usman, Kamaru Usman, who wasn't willing to go out. And when you get these guys who kind of clash with Khamzat Chimaev, I think you got a fight on your hands, and I don't think that Dricus is losing that kind of a fight. But we'll see, boys. We're just excited to see this shit. Seriously, like, besides Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane, and if they match up Ilya against somebody, this is the biggest fight in the UFC at the moment. Like, even Cyril Gane fighting Tom Aspinall is not as big as Dricus against the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev. This is the biggest fight in the fucking UFC right now, boys, and we are blessed enough to be living in a time when we get to see it.
Yeah, I feel like the middleweight division, low-key, like, snuck up from behind and is one of the best divisions.
Fluffy,
and the whole shit.
Imavov, Baralho, RDR, Adesanya, Strickland, Whitaker, Costa. Like, boys, this is a fucking great time for this division.
That division came out of the nowhere and became Raw. Like,
Yeah.
It was one of the shittier divisions. Not even like 2 years ago, it was one of the shittier divisions. But now, it came up behind. We got a lot of excitement in this division. I think Dricus comes out here and he makes a statement for this entire division, and he probably finishes Khamzat in one of the round 4 or 5 when he's completely gassed. He gets this done, boys. Mark my words. Same feeling we had, or I had about RDR, is the same feeling I have about Dricus right now. And he hasn't let me down, and I don't think that's going to change after Saturday, boys. Stay tuned for the live reaction if it makes it to YouTube.
Yeah, boys, stay tuned for live reaction. Of course, if you're fading or tailing any of the picks, drop those in the comments, boys. We are so excited for this card. The UFC is back this weekend. Make sure that you enjoy each and every fight, because the UFC is not going to be like this every single card, boys. We can't take this for granted, but we appreciate you for watching through the video this far, boys. We're glad to be back on YouTube. We're trying to drop every single week, and like we said, this week we have the opportunity to go ahead and do a live reaction video, boys, so stay tuned for that.
And stay tuned for the NFL.
GCU out.